Some sent us things off the internet about the magical healing properties of eagles, and maybe you can get that eagle to come and heal Buddy. And then other people, you know, had herbal cures, and oh, I have this friend who does homeopathy, and if you just use a drop of this, it will go, you know, it's just like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate all your input. But what we really wanted you to do was go the hell away. Leave us alone. Our email server crashed. We couldn't get email through. We couldn't get email out. Our phone system went into meltdown. Our patience dissolved quickly. But the bottom line was these 75,000 folks were committed, were interested, and most importantly, were watching. So we do try for every patient we get, but when the CAT scan came back and showed that this bird had a knob the size of a walnut inside its skull, that was pretty bad news. But we thought, you know, what the heck, you know, we've got a teaching moment here, a teachable moment in time. We've got all these people watching. Let's, you know, pull out the stops. So we flew in the top avian surgeon in the entire world from the University of Illinois Veterinary School. And he, I'm telling you what, he's a piece of work, but we brought him in, and he's just got this persona. And he came in, and I'm thinking to myself, now what can that guy really do that our folks can't do? Because I have a lot of faith in our people, and when I watched that surgery and I saw that guy at work, it was like, you know, the difference between somebody playing 3 chords on the guitar and listening to Segovia. You know, this guy was an artist. And he came in, he goes, oh my, you know, what have we got going on here? And so next thing you know, he's like up to his elbows inside this bird's head, and he's starting to pull things out. And he says, now what happened to the outside part of the lesion? And we're all kind of looking at each other like, should we tell him or not? And at that point, caution had gone to the wind. We had been treating Buddy with this interferon. His immune system had been bolstered. His body began to fight the lesion. It began to shrink. He stopped growing first, which was a huge step forward, and then slowly began to sink. The morning the surgeon arrived, it fell off. Okie dokie then. And one of the rehabilitators who came back in, she goes, oh my God, the thing on his beak, it fell off, it fell off. And Dr. Dave, who you all know, said, well, what happened to it? Let's see it. She says, when I reached for it, Buddy grabbed it and swallowed it. I couldn't make this stuff up. So, armed with that little bit of experiential equipment, we moved forward. It became very clear. So we did get the stuff out of Buddy's head, emptied his head completely. When you meet him later today, you may understand what I mean by that. But the fact is that we thought, okay, we've done everything we can do, now it's up to Buddy. And we continued to bolster his immune system, we continued to feed him, he continued to grow and develop and mature absolutely normally, except for one thing. The growth plate on the left side of his beak had been damaged by that lesion, so it didn't work as quickly. And so it was producing beak, the beak was growing on that side, but it was growing faster on the right side, which meant his beak curved. And so we've got this eagle that looks like this, and again, permanent disability, deformity, tough luck. We normally would have euthanized him. But there were 75,000 pairs of eyes. And we remembered that for every one that said, God bless you, there was another one that said, well, the bless wasn't the second half of that, but it was, shall we say, it was an urgent admonition to do well by this bird. And so we decided that if Buddy would cope with captivity, which not all eagles do, that we would keep him around because he had been our connection with this interesting group of people. And at least, you know, I mean, if you euthanize him, you can never go back and change your mind. If you keep him alive, at some point you can always go back and change your mind if things don't work well. Don't you forget it. No, I'm teasing, I'm teasing. Some of you all have a great sense of humor, and some of you don't. I'm joking. I'm joking, I get that. So, as we began the year of our buddy, 2008, things began to change. Not only did we recognize that we had to negotiate with you all about almost everything as it related to this bird, so the phone was in such meltdown, we were getting so many emails that we finally, fortunately, my colleague Randy Hua found out about the chat room. Which sounded like this ominous place where people go and you just don't come back. Which is pretty well about what it sounds like, and what it is, pretty much. Once they get you, you just never turn loose. And he found the mayor of the chat room at the time, Sandy Stewart. We refer to her today as Mayor Sandy, and she hates that. But she was the one who helped us figure out who the moderators were, who we now love, and how to get in there. And so the deal was, we negotiated that if you'll leave us the hell alone, let us do our jobs, we will post regular updates on our website. That worked. So that was the point at which the sand beneath our feet began slipping away. And life as we knew it began to erode. And a new reality came in which we feel like we're constantly treading water, but things have escalated. So our website started getting lots of traffic. 9,000 visits in a month. Woo-ha-ha. We thought we had died and gone to cyber heaven. And all these folks started sending in contributions. Oh, and the checks cleared the bank better than that. We were delighted. So all of that went well, and then we had our first eagle release at Westover Plantation post-Buddy, when a contingent from the fan club of Buddy showed up and started to introduce themselves to me. Hi, my name is Falcon. I'm Shoe Button. Hi, I'm Congo Wings. Now, bear in mind, I've never been on the chat room. I just thought your parents hated you as children. Congo Wings? Oh, come on. Surely you're Dolores or something. But thumbnail. Oh, there's one. So, life went on in its new incarnation, and it almost got normal. Or at least we had adapted and gotten to the point where we could almost cope with things. And then we had all of these questions. Are you going to keep him or not? Are you going to keep him or not? Is he going to spend the rest of his life at the Wildlife Center or not? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to do it now? You done it yet? Every single day. So we finally decided, okay, we'll keep him, but you got to help us take care of him. We don't have a place to put him. You got, oh my goodness. It's like trying to take a drink out of a fire hose. We needed a little help. Boy, we got more help than we really signed up for. And then came Buddy Day. We decided, after we announced we were going to keep this bird, that we would have the first annual Buddy Day. We can hold 50 people in our library. We announced Buddy Day and said reservations would be taken, and in 9.5 minutes, all 50 reservations were filled from 30 states. Who knew? shocked us at the time. Right now, that's raising us a bit, but. And Buddy Day comes around. So we hear all these people with even more funky names. And they come in and they're bringing family. And where have you come from? Oh, we've come from South Succotash, wherever, you know. And it's like we drove here, we left last week. And, you know, we were making our, we got to see him, you know, we got to see him. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Well, then we started with a little video, the history of Buddy. Now, what I really didn't, I mean, I knew you all were attached to this bird, but the sobbing, the wringing of hands, honest to God, we were ready to call a rescue squad for some of the people that showed up. I'm serious. I mean, people were, you know, fanning themselves and starting to get faint and the whites of their eyes showing. And you know, it's like, wow, they're really serious about this stuff. So we got through Buddy Day, and everybody, they had their little religious experience, and you know, they when I hear all these commentators talk about religious extremists, you know, on TV, they know nothing. They know nothing. Anyway, things went on. We accommodated each other. Then came the advent of Calendar Day. Libby, as we affectionately called her, well, most of the time, came up with the notion, or presented us with the notion, that we needed a Garden of Eagles calendar. And she was talking about this in July. Who the heck buys a calendar in July? Apparently a lot of you. All of the calendars we had. And then the rest of you got mad if you didn't get one. Well, that has turned into its own phenomenon, as more of you know than I do. And things just kept moving along. So we sort of stayed aware of what was going on down here, but not really.